you facing a rusher like Micah and kind of your mindset and playing against, some of these premier guys?
Yeah, well, like Micah, for instance, he's a guy that's like I use basically the way I think of him is pressure bust pipes, right?
Mhm.
He gonna apply pressure from his first step. Like he either gonna run by you, stick move to the inside, or every now and then he gonna power you. But it's
Mhm.
all gonna happen really, really quick.
Mhm.
And so, in my opinion, for if you're gonna do things really quick and fast, and it's hard for you to play hands. 'Cause, when guys play hands, it's usually a tempo deal because you're
Mhm.
timing a punch.
Mhm.
So when I see a guy like that, I kind of feel like I got the freedom to put my hands and kind of throw my hands and because a lot of times we think about throwing hands, you don't never want to get them swiped
For sure.
because that's the way you lose the quickest, right? So, um, but going against a guy like him, if you don't put hands on him, you'll lose because once he gets the edge,
Yeah.
he's not big, but he has natural leverage because he's shorter
Mhm.
and he's strong. He's
Strong
really
and fast,
yeah,
quick.
he's really strong. He's a lot stronger than what people may think,
Mhm.
especially coming out of a 240 frame.
Mhm.
So yeah, in my opinion, I had to just get to a spot and you put some type of hand in his chest, and then once you can knock him off his stride, then it eventually turns into power.
Mhm.
And then if you can get him to power you after you've already knocked him off his stride, then the
Yeah.
power obviously isn't as
It
strong.
isn't effective, yeah. 'Cause
You
it's
let
not
him
direct. It's like "Oh, I gotta convert to power."
right, but where most offensive linemen kind of mess up versus Micah, in my opinion, because the speed scares you. You don't want to punch at that. You want to grab that,
Mhm.
and when you grabbing, that's when he uses his power to run through the chest and like
Yeah.
open you up and have you leaning. So in
Mhm.
the next play, you leaning and he's picking the edge and it's once you get into that battle with him, it's really really hard to block him.
Mhm.
So that's kind of when I scouted him, that was like my diagnosis of him. How that's how I would have to block him. So
Mhm.
that's you see me here. I'm just stabbing him once I stab and I made him convert his speed rush into the power. I was able to sit it down at the top. A lot of people think you got a punch. It's not really a punch. It's just more of a stab, And it's like
Mhm.
if you in a street fight, you know, a haymaker is somebody gonna see that more so than a jab. That's
Right.
why you see guys who can jab real well can box really well. So
Mhm.
that's where boxing kind of translated over for me. I used to think of my stab as a jab as opposed to a right hand,
You do a
cross.
lot of boxing, you feel like boxing helps your
Yeah,
game?
yeah. I think boxing definitely. I started boxing, man. Like I started in 2011. Started in 2011, but I ain't really get serious in it until like 2013,
Mhm.
2000, yeah, 12, 13. So yeah, so that's how long I've been boxing and like implementing that into my cross training. Um,
I think they got some, of you and Miles on there too.
Going versus Miles really was like probably one of my biggest challenges to date. I mean, other than like opening day versus DeMarcus Ware, but and simply because the way when I study him, the way to block him is to take away space, and it's really hard to take away space on the road
Mhm.
because you got to look in at the quarterback. I mean, look in at the center. At the ball being snapped, you can't hear a cadence. So
Mhm. What do you mean by take away space?
So, like, we go back to the first plot where I played you.
Mhm.
See, when you was in the Y9,
Mhm.
instead of me vertical setting and meeting
Angle.
you at the spot, I angled out
Mhm.
to you to take away your length,
Mhm.
right? So that's the same thing with him. When I looked at Miles, I knew that he wasn't a huge change of direction guy,
Mhm.
but his jump off the ball is like second to none.
Mhm.
Obviously, his 40 time and explosion is well documented,
Mhm.
you know. So that's what makes it tough because you going at an angle while he going so fast up the field. It's really easy for him to to out leverage you. You know what I'm saying? But if you vertical set and try to meet a guy like that who's 280 running a 4.5,
Mhm.
try to meet him 6 yards deep, you're gonna be in the quarterback lap. Both of
Quickly.
y'all are gonna be on the ground. He gonna
Quickly.
sack you against the quarterback.
Mhm.
So I had to kind of and I was really confident in my game plan. And then what third drive get rolled up.
Mhm.
So now it's double tough because my ankle is swelling as we
Yeah.
go. So I'm losing power to push out and get into his space. So so you can even just see like right here, I'm turning so early because I'm giving away technique to get to him early. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I can't get there with technique because of the way how the game is. I'm on the road. I can't.
Mhm.
We going on silent snap.
Yep.
Shit, he lining damn near up offsides, and
Yep.
he Miles Garrett. He can get two to three offside penalty, and the coach won't even bat an eye.
No.
So once he gets that cadence timed up, it's really tough. So now I'm throwing technique out the window just to close space because I know that if I can make him turn into his power while we are 2 yard, 3 yard depth, I got a chance as opposed to taking his power on 5 yards depth.
Mhm.
And we, like I said, we would be on the quarterback. So right here, you see me, I'm jumping out to him and basically making him pick his side, and I'm getting to his near point, and I just try to, ride the near point past the depth of the quarterback, and that's where you and the quarterback got to be on the same page because at this point we playing a game of inches. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
I'm, here his feet is probably 3 yards away from the quarterback feet.
Mhm.
So that was a good one, but it got close a few times. So, but yeah, that was just my game plan was to get to his inside shoulder,
Mhm.
and force him to either turn it into a power faster than he wanted to, or make him try to run around the edge while I could,
While
push
you're on
him
his
up the
near
field.
hip and
Yeah,
can watch him up the field.
yeah.
Well, that's tough. I mean, you've seen a lot of rushers, played against a lot of great players, so being able to adjust like that, especially while getting injured and still being able to adjust. I want to send a huge shout out to Verizon, our new presenting sponsor. Third and Long is now powered by Verizon.